You guys are the terrific team.
Live from Los Angeles, BeTerrific shines the BeTerrific Spotlight on E3, only on the BeTerrific Network.
Hey everyone, Allison Berger here, and we are at day 3 of E3. It's so sad that it's almost over, but I found myself with Adam Fitch, the localization editor for Natsume, and we brought some other new friends with me. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, fantastic.
Now, before we even get into the game, let's lead into who are my new friends I have in my arm?
So those are, Harvest Moon is like a farming simulation, life simulation game, and obviously your job in the game is to raise livestock, grow crops, and stuff like that. So the little sheep guy you hear is one of the guys you can raise, shear his wool, and like befriend him. And the little bluebird you got here, that's actually a tradition in the Harvest Moon games. When you want to get, marry somebody, you have to get feather from the bluebird, and it's a very rare creature, so you have to, usually it involves some sort of mission where you have to like climb up a mountain and like sneak up to him and befriend him and stuff like that. So that's actually a sign of marriage. So when you meet somebody that you fall in love with, you give them the blue feather, and if they feel the same way, you get married and you start a life together.
That's fair. Adam, I saw that you have a ring on your finger. You know, I don't know if your wife's going to be so happy that you gave this to me.
No, my wife is she's a really cool person. She doesn't know anything about games, but that's partly why I married her, because I need some other interests. She helps me expand my horizons.
I'm just teasing you. So the storyline in Harvest Moon, tell me more about that. You said it's about farming, and tell me more.
So for this specific game, you are the main protagonist, which you can play as a boy or a girl, and you start off, you're kind of tired of your general surroundings. You hop on a boat, and you're like, I'm gonna, sail this, go west, young man, type of thing, and you go out, and unbeknownst to you, there's a huge monsoon coming, and it crashes both your boat and the island that you land on. So it's your job to kind of rebuild the entire island and to help the villagers that are living there, and also to rebuild the lighthouse that's been damaged in the monsoon. So it's kind of the whole theme of the series is always like rebirth, like I said, with growing sheep and cows and stuff like that, growing crops. And so that's the same thing with this game, like rebirth, like taking something that's been basically almost on the verge of destruction and building it back to the way it was, getting married, sort of the circle of life type of thing. So, getting married, having kids and stuff like that. And so that's the main, point of the series is.
That's great. I love how positive it is and very uplifting.
Yeah, it's always positive. It's we have fans from like 10 years old to like 80 years old. Like, for serious, like we get calls like from like 80-year-old grandmas, and they're like, I love your game so much. Like, I don't like these violent games, but I love playing these Harvest Moon games because it's a slow pace. I don't have to worry about like shooting things or anything. I just raise my crops, and I go after my husband, and it's a lot of fun for players of all ages.
That sounds a lot of fun, and it looks like you have a ton of characters. So tell me a little about the characters. Who's the best one?
Oh, for me, I'm a big fan of Jeannie. She's the herbal doctor. She's she's actually kind of like my wife. She's really smart and intelligent. She's kind of shy, though, when you first meet her. But, when you talk to her more and more, she opens up. When it comes to, like, social situations, she's shy, but when it comes to like her being a doctor, she knows exactly what she's talking about. So I'm usually attracted to women like that in real life, so I think that's why she's my favorite. She's kind of she's really smart, but it takes a little bit to get her to open up and kind of open up socially. But there's a whole bunch of different characters. Like you see, we have Dean. He runs the flower shop. He's a manly man. He's big. He's got those muscles. But his one love in life, flowers. So he's kind of tipping. changing the stereotypes there. You know, a manly man who doesn't mind, you know, planting flowers. And like, there's a quote in the game, like, I didn't care what anybody said to me growing up. Like, I loved planting flowers. I love giving, you know, teaching people about flowers and horticulture and stuff like that. So there's a lot of, like, bachelors and bachelorettes in the game for everybody, depending on what kind of personalities you like.
So there's really, yeah, I was just about to say, there's so many different personalities and different types of characters, and they all seem to be really well developed, and that's nice because everyone can choose who they would like to be like.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I mean, there are the ones that I might go after in real life, and then there's, well, for example, there's like a witch character. She's a good witch, but she's kind of mischievous, and that's the kind of, maybe that's the bad girl I used to go after when I was like in my 20s. But so it's kind of a fantasy, you know, like going after the, you know, the kind of bad girl. But
Adam, I'm picking up on that. Your gaming is very similar to your real life. You're not going into a ultra universe with your gaming.
No, that's actually one of the things that attracted me, because the Harvest Moon series, actually we have our 20th anniversary. I remember, so this is our 20th anniversary of the series this year. When I was about 14, 15, 16, I remember running the very first game from Blockbuster, and like, you know, at that time I didn't know anything about like dating women and stuff like that. So, but I remember like having so much fun, like again, talking to the different girls in the game, and like giving the ones I liked flowers and stuff like that. And even though like in the Super Nintendo days the characters were not as developed as they are in the current games, it was a lot of fun to like play a game that was like I was harkening back to the grandma, that wasn't about shooting things. It was about building life. It was about building relationships with people, not only romantically but also, you know, just with the general townspeople, and like you know, so like getting closer to the people in town, and like you know, the you know, from everyone from the general store guy.
Doing all of your normal things.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of fun getting to know each character. There's a crazy like inventor guy. He's got like, you know, white hair. He's kind of a you know, a doc kind of guy from Back to the Future. So yeah, there's all kinds of wacky characters in the universe.
Right. So with a game that's been 20 years, congratulations, happy anniversary. How do you keep pushing the limit and keep getting better?
Well, I mean, we always take the things that are successful, but we always try to build on them. We always try to add at least one new thing in each game that we think players will enjoy. For example, recently we tried out a crop mutation system. So for example, if you plant like a turnip and you plant it in a specific season and you plant it, say, next to another specific crop, it'll actually mutate into like a magical turnip or something like that. So kind of give players something, kind of a mystery to figure out, to kind of give them an idea of like, oh, I can not only get regular turnips, but like, you know, great turnips and like magical turnips and red turnips and all kinds of different turnips. We've got like pumpkins that, you know, that will, you know, mutate into like jack-o'-lanterns and stuff like that. So we've got, we always try to leave the basics in, so it's very familiar to people, but also add things in there that will keep players coming back and say, okay, I want to try out this new feature and see like what it offers in this iteration of the game.
So is this version, the Light of Hope Harvest Moon, is it out right now, or are we showing it for the first time at E3?
Oh no, it's still in development. Okay. And we're it's going to be on Switch, PC via Steam, and PlayStation 4, and we're hoping for simultaneous release either later this year or early in next year.
Can you give me any more specifics?
Unfortunately, my boss would reprimand me.
I won't tell them.
I am bound by my honor.
Okay, fine. So what else do you have going on here at E3? The booth is so colorful. You have so much going on.
So one of the other big things we have is we have a new game in the River City. We have two new games in the River City series. The River City series is probably best known to players. There's a Nintendo the original Nintendo Entertainment System game, River City Ransom. I grew up playing, and we have 2 new games. Last year we had a nice hit with another game in the River City series, River City Ransom Tokyo Rumble. It's basically, so you're like kind of a hooligan with a heart of gold. Like you're the school. Yeah, you're not the bully of the school. You're the kind of guy in school where the weaker kids would go up and say, "Hey, this guy's picking on me. Can you help? Stand up to him." And Kunio, he's like that kind of guy. He's like, "I'll fight for justice," And yeah, so
that's great.
Yeah, so it's so he's kind of. He's kind of a goofy guy, but he has like a good heart, and he loves like challenging his strength, but he hates people who pick on like the weak, and if anybody ever picks on the weak, like he snaps and just goes off on them. So
that sounds like a good person to be with, and you were a good person to be with, Adam. Thank you so much for talking to me and telling me about what's been going on here.
I appreciate it very much.
And now I have some new friends to hang out with, and I think these are available online if you want to bring your new game friends into real life, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, thanks so much, Adam, and everyone stay tuned because there's still more to come at the last day today at E3.
Don't go anywhere. You guys are the terrific team. Live from Los Angeles, BeTerrific shines the BeTerrific Spotlight on E3, only on the BeTerrific Network.